Thank you so much for your support and for your continued patience as I fight against this theft of my work, an impersonator taking my videos from YouTube and posting them as if the person is me over on TikTok. So you're going to see some markings on this video also so that I can call attention to it. I know it's not ideal for you to have to look through those markings, but I appreciate that you've said, do what you have to do. We support you. So I am hopeful that this will not be forever. We're going to get this thing taken care of. And a lot of it has to do with you, your support, and your patience. So thank you again. Welcome to another episode of the Adrienne Ross Show, where sports and culture connect. Hey, many of you were with me during the Indiana Fever versus Atlanta Dream game on Thursday for the live stream. The chat was popping. It was rather intense. Some of it really positive and exciting, and others not so positive, but just as intense. And when it was all said and done, many of us Indiana Fever fans were rejoicing because the Indiana Fever, hey, a win is a win. So I'm going to call it a good game. What do you mean it's a good game? That mess was ugly. Yes, it was. Yes, it was in many ways. But I will repeat what I say all the time. I will take an ugly win over a pretty loss any day of the week. And twice on Sundays, as they say. But there are good things to take away from both games against the Atlanta Dream. The game in which the Fever lost by 1 and the game in which the Fever won 81-76. And the main takeaway is that even when everything and everybody are not clicking, this team competes. There's no throwing in the towel. The loss in the first game, remember that there was a lot stacked against this team. First and foremost, the team came out flat. That was a problem. They weren't in sync defensively, offensively either. The officials were horrible, and they were missing layups and free throws. And it really did come down to free throws when you're looking at flat out numbers. Because had Atlanta hit every free throw, had Indiana hit every free throw, Indiana would have won that game. Indiana missed 10 free throws in that game, and they still had a chance to win it. 2 opportunities at the end of the game. Then you go into the game on Thursday. Indiana Fever won that game, but it was a battle. It was a battle. Officials were still horrible. Seems to be a trend. And the game was super, super physical, because of physicality and all that. And listen, when I say there are good things, first game you lose, but you battle like nobody's business, and you had a chance to win at the end. The second game, you continue to fight, and you win this game when Caitlin Clark, no 3-pointers and only 11 points. When you've got Aliyah Boston, and Caitlin was in foul trouble as well. Aliyah Boston also in foul trouble and only scored 4 points. And Kelsey Mitchell did not have a great shooting night, but she hit a big bucket and she had 17 points. But when you think about that, your players who balled out, even in the loss against Atlanta, had balled out and then not able to produce for the team. And yet you get the win, you get other people stepping up. And that's what I want to talk about today. The X factors in this win. I said a whole lot during the live stream and after the live stream, but I just got to come and I got to talk to you about these X factors. And I got to impress upon us that what we saw, particularly on Thursday, is the reason why this team was assembled. Natasha Howard came up big. And this was after people are saying, oh my goodness, what is she bringing to the table? I mean, it's a lot of stuff and missed free throws and all that. But she came up huge. And this is why the team was assembled, because on any given night, somebody can step up. Understand, another good thing about these games so far is this team is still trying to gel. The coaching staff is still trying to figure things out. That's why I did the live stream the other day and said, are we panicking already? But I told y'all what was going to happen. I did my survival guide video. If you still haven't seen it, some of y'all need to watch it a few times. But this team was assembled so that you would have pieces all around. And that's what happened the other night. And sometimes it comes from the most unlikely places. Now, if you're going to judge success of this team by whether one player or two players gets all the shine, you're going to be miserable, because the beautiful thing about this team, whether you're talking about the vets and the champions and the all-stars who were brought in, or if you're talking about who those who are returning, the one thing that we can say about them is they said they want to win. And they said, we're willing to sacrifice playing time, sacrifice ego, to come together to get this thing to gel so that we can win. That's ultimately all that matters. And as they gel, those things that you're expecting from different players, they're going to be there, because there's a reason why this organization wanted this team together. So it's good news. So yeah, we know that not Caitlin Clark. Let me just read some of her stats here. She played 32 minutes and she had 11 points. She went 4 for 11. She was 0 for 5 in 3-pointers, 3 for 5 in free throws. That's 2 games in a row. She missed 2 free throws, not characteristic of her at all. And I don't expect that to remain. 4 rebounds, 6 assists in this game, and 1 steal. 11 points from Caitlin. Kelsey Mitchell, bad shooting night. As I said, she ended up with 17 points. And then Aliyah Boston, 7 rebounds and 3 assists, but she was in foul trouble, so she had to sit quite a bit. Like I said, Caitlin did as well. DeWanna Bonner, we've yet to see her really get into her groove, and we'll see what happens. But Natasha Howard, let's take a look at what she did, because she is the first X factor I want to talk about. So we're going to go over to X, to the Indiana Fevers page. Homegirl had 26 points. She went 12 for 17 from the field with 7 rebounds. The Indiana Fever said a 26-point shooting clinic from Natasha Howard in tonight's win. And now let's take a little look at some of what she did. Indiana Fever said Natasha Howard showed out in our first road dub of the season. Good work from Natasha Howard. And we cannot not show this play, this connection between Caitlin Clark and Natasha Howard. The Clark Report on X.
That's how good Ryan Howard is. We were forced so many late in the shot clock opportunities. Clark lob inside, right on the money.
Remember when Natasha Howard said she couldn't wait to catch Caitlin Clark's passes? Well, there you go. Now, what did Natasha Howard have to say about the turnaround in her performance? YouTube, Indiana Fever page.
What was it about? What was different for you tonight than earlier this week?
Getting out of my own head. That's the thing. I was in my own way. But thank God I had my teammates behind me to bring that confidence out of me tonight. I couldn't do without them. Also, my coaches as well.
Basketball is so mental. So much of it is mental. And she said it right there, getting out of my own head. Well, she sure did in a big way with those 26.7 rebounds, 2 assists, big time X factor. But she wasn't the only X factor. Sophie Cunningham returned. Well, I say return to the court, but actually it was her first game, her first official game as a member of this team, and she made an immediate impact. She steps on the floor and there's instant energy. Even as Lexi Hull said, she brings an energy, she brings an intensity. People trust her. You should see people in the chat like, we're so glad Sophie is back. We need Sophie. And look, she just comes in immediately, whether it's offensively or defensively, her positivity, her intensity, all of it. It just is, it's palpable. So let's look just a couple things that we got from Sophie Cunningham in her first official game as a member of the Indiana Fever. Back to X Indiana Fever page. We will start with Sophie Cunningham's first bucket as a member of the squad, and it's a 3.
Caitlin gets it back, tries to send it over. Cunningham gets it to go.
First basket, and it's a tray. Now let's take a look at Sophie Cunningham when defense turns into offense.
You have to be set. Turnover for Nia Coffey. Sophie Cunningham outside, triple finds the bottom of the net. Those live ball turnovers.
Now let's look at this. Caitlin Clark's half-court dime to Sophie Cunningham is our assist of the game presented by State Farm. Caitlin Clark may have had a game that was not up to her normal standards, but I showed you the pass to Natasha Howard. Now I'm about to show you this half-court dime to Sophie Cunningham. The CC to SC connection right here.
Here comes Caitlin Clark. It's how Caitlin Clark starts the. Here comes Caitlin Clark.
First of all, I got to stop here and say, do you hear that crowd? Every game is a home game, y'all. Every game. But this pass, we got to look at this again. This pass is just sick. This pass is just sick.
Here comes Caitlin Clark. It's how
the pass and the catch and the reverse layup from Sophie Cunningham. Welcome, Sophie. And Sophie Cunningham is not the only X factor. So we have Natasha Howard, X factor, Sophie Cunningham, X factor. And now we've got to look at Lexi Hull. I got to tell you, Lexi is impressing us. She has upped her game exponentially. In this game, she played 27 minutes. She went 4 for 7 from the field, 2 for 2 from 3, 4 assists, 2 steals, and 10 points. The team is a plus 15 with Lexi on the floor. She's like, I've done a few videos on Lexi, but I recently did a video and I was saying she's not just standing in the corner. She's getting things done. And in this case, one of the things that I noticed she must have worked on a lot, and that's that step through. She's more aggressive, and it's not just offensively, it's defensively as well. Sophie comes in and brings the energy. The energy does not drop with Lexi on the floor. That's for sure. So another X factor. Let's look at some of what Lexi had to do in that game. Lexi with Tahina Pow Pow on her. Take notes, Rook. Take notes. I told you Lexi was working on that step through. That's a tough shot. Tough shot. Now we're going to get to see Lexi getting a pass from Demiris Dantas. Big time shot. X factor right there. More Lexi.
To shoot that ball. She's 50% in this game from 3, but she can knock it down. Back-to-back buckets for Indiana. Now things are starting to grow to shoot.
So in that situation, she got a pass again from Demiris, who then turns and sets the screen, gives Lexi all the room she needs, and
but she can knock it down.
Flash.
Back.
And let's just do one more.
Clark inside, Hull runs into traffic, flips it up, draws a foul, and one. Lexi Hull, a circus shot goes.
Circus shot is right. The amazing pass from Caitlin Clark, the back door from Lexi Hull calling for the ball. Lexi Hull getting sandwiched and having enough awareness to make sure she throws the shot up so that she can get to the free throw line. And the bonus, of course, is that the shot went in. Here it is again.
Clark inside, Hull runs into traffic, flips it up, draws a foul, and one. Lexi Hull, the circus shot goes.
And the smile from Lexi, of course. So that's another X factor for this team and for that game. But even that's not the only one. We have Natasha Howard, Sophie Cunningham, Lexi Hull, and now the final X factor that I'm going to talk about today, and that is Damiris Dantas. I did a video about her, I don't know, 2-3 months ago now, and how vital she is to this team. She came back to the team. She's slimmer and in shape. And then, unfortunately, there was a loss of a loved one. And so she was gone again. And she came back. Then there was a little injury. And now she's back. And she didn't come in for a whole lot of minutes. And she didn't put up a whole lot of points. But Damiris Dantas changes things. She, in this game, played 17 minutes. She was 1 for 5 in field goals, 1 for 3 for 3, 6 rebounds, 1 assist, and obviously just 1 3-pointer, so 3 points. So some would say, well, I mean, is she really an X factor? Yes, she is, because remember, Atlanta is very physical, because you've got Brittany Griner down low, but she ended up being in foul trouble for picking up really, in some cases, silly fouls. But so you have Brittany Griner and you have Brianna Jones, and they were so difficult to deal with in the first game in particular. Damiris Dantas, DeWanna Bonner was kind of bouncing off of them, right? Aliyah Boston, well, she went for 24 in the first game against them, so she did all right. But it was a tough cover, really, really tough to cover both of them. Damiris Dantas comes in, she's a stronger body, and not only that, she offensively can stretch the floor because she can shoot the three. She came in and she did that. So I love her for this team. I think she is huge. And I just love her temperament. She's just smooth. She's just easy. She's just a presence that is, to me, very confident and very calming. And she can play basketball and a brand that is good for this team. So let's look at that big three from Damiris. DD tied the game up in the second quarter with this shot.
Howard. Dantas again hits the mark. And we know Damiris Dantas.
DD just stays ready and just smooth as silk. Not a lot of hype, not a lot of pomp and circumstance, just is ready when you call her number. And that's just one shot. That's only points in the game. But like you saw in some of the other ones, she's passing the ball up for other people to score. She's setting screens. She is huge, I feel, for this team and an X factor. So this team, this win, 81-76, Indiana, it was ugly, but this team is showing us something, and this team is letting us know why these pieces were assembled and how you have such a threat in this team. They got to gel. They got to get better. It's got to come together better. And they got a big one coming up against New York. That's going to be a tough one. That's a tall order, but this is a season. For the duration of the season, that's where we have to keep our eyes fixed. If you're Indiana, if you're Indiana Fever fans, and if you just like basketball. So you're going to have your Caitlin Clark, your Kelsey Mitchell, your Aliyah Boston, but you cannot forget Lexi Hull, X Factor, Sophie Cunningham, X Factor, Damiris Dantas, X Factor, and a huge X Factor in this second game against Atlanta, the third game of the season, but the second game in back-to-back, not back-to-back nights, but back-to-back meeting up these two teams. Natasha Howard was huge in this game. So we love all the team. We love all the ones who get all the attention, but let's remember the X factors, and that can change on any given night. So next game is Saturday. New York Liberty will enter Gamebridge Arena. And my intention is to go live. I hope your intention is to come along with me for the ride. So I'll catch you next time, God willing. God bless you abundantly.